So you might have noticed that as soon as the mind is busy creating a future or past, then also there is an according sense of stress. With time there is stress. With the creation of time, there's also a stressed personality that is seemingly moving in a realm of time, moving towards a particular goal or whatever that might be, in one's fantasy, in one's thinking. It feels very much that here is me doing this in order to get there. Might appear that way when you do meditation practice. When you sit down, you feel, so here is me sitting down, doing the meditation practice, so I can get there. Very often is a very deeply rooted feeling that we have about ourselves. So invitation to explore that, this is what meditation is inviting you to have a look at that. To see this tendency clearly. Some people, they hear this one, they say, okay, I get that, I get this idea that I'm here to be someone else when there is only presence. They seem to intellectually grasp that, understand this. However, it lacks the depth of observation, or that what arises from observation within ourselves. To continuously see actually how we create misery for ourselves is the path of practice. Is what the Buddha advises in the First Noble Truth. This is the Noble Truth of suffering. There is suffering. And suffering should be comprehended. It's an invitation to have a look and to understand suffering. And understanding suffering doesn't mean to get an intellectual idea about suffering. Like how many types of sufferings are there? What's the definition of suffering, and so forth, all that. But to actually look at our own suffering and how it arises and how it fades. To understand this kind of the mechanics of it. This is what opens up the window of insight. And we can only do that truly if we become present. This is something, there's an endeavor that happens exclusively within the present moment. This is why we train at first, to become aware of this simple fact that we are just here. There's nothing much more to it, actually. Then the mind usually then shows you where you are in conflict with this moment. And how this conflict arises, you can clearly see with your own eyes. This is wisdom. Wisdom is not having some sort of collection of book knowledge, in our head. Very often we have a whole lot of seeming knowledge in our head. I know I should be doing this, or I know how it works. I know meditate. I know I should be. We have a lot of this. There is a huge abundance of this kind of knowledge. But the knowledge of the wise is very different. It's a direct experience. It's a realization that happens in a space beyond description, beyond words, beyond ideas or concepts. We see directly as it is. And that seeing deepens. over time. It is not the case that we sit down and we kind of become intimate with the present and feel nice and fluffy, and that is then enlightenment. Because that doesn't last. Also the idea that, yes, the present is eternal and it is timeless, it doesn't last either. So it is within this, and only within this timeless realm, in which then progress on the path happens. It is not made. Almost like a paradox. It is the timeless realm in which progress happens. You could also say it is becoming intimate with the timeless realm more and more, or getting closer and closer to a deeper experience of it. This is progress on the path. Almost like shedding your clothes, taking off your clothes, one by one, layer by layer. This is a progress until you come to the naked you, which then could be considered attainment, if we want to use language to describe this one. So it is not an accumulation of stuff that gets us to a state of attainment. Like, I need to meditate more so I can get there, or I need to try harder, or these kind of ideas. They actually have to be discarded. They have to be let go of. So the path of the Buddha is a path of letting go. Letting go of even the most refined ideas. Like I am one, or I am many, or I am. Even letting go of that. It is neither, there is nothing that we hold on to at all. And that there is nothing that holds on originally. So how does that look like for us? How can we practice? What is it? What is there to be done? Because obviously there is something to be cultivated. There is something to be done, undeniably. It is this coming back into a state of non-doing, of full presence. This is our doing, you could say. The doing for someone on the path is coming back home. Again and again and again. Now this coming back home is nothing also that a teacher can give you. You have to come back home. A teacher can tell you, well, come back home. But you have to come. And then again and again we have to come. And truly taste the experience of arriving home. And we all do have this sense of presence, actually, if we just take a little break and have a look, a little bit of a deeper look than usual. We all would agree that we are here. There's something very natural that we are here. You can play with this, actually. You can play with this sentence, I am here. And then notice how the mind is reacting to this kind of piece of wisdom. The mind then usually goes into, yeah, but. So this sense of I am here has to become stronger than, yeah, but. The sense of relaxing into this spaciousness that fully allows life as it manifests in this moment. So nothing, not one particle of life is colliding with you, with a sense of me that somehow is in the way of whatever life gives you. And this can be seen also, that there is no such thing as actually like some solid entity that interacts with life or that collides with life, that crashes sometimes into life. Life is crashing into me. Life is terrible, it's unbearable. My mind is harassing me. I don't know how to stop my mind. We say things like this. It appears almost like I am here and my mind is over there and my mind is constantly attacking me. I wonder, who is it attacking? And we cannot point it out really. So what do? We don't look any deeper. We immediately distract ourselves with more, but. I know, I'm not really there, but. But here is the point where we need to really, really start looking closely and understand through our own experience, bit by bit, gradually, for who is this life coming there? Who is there that life is attacking? Who is that? Because it feels like this, very real. It feels very strongly like this. Like, life is attacking me, or my mind is attacking me, or my emotions are attacking me. If I would have gotten rid of my emotions, I'd be fine. This idea of getting rid of things, it comes from that position. Here is me, life is attacking me, and I need to get rid of this manifestation of life. I need to eliminate that, and then I will be happy. That's the dream in which we are trapped. It's a prison which is very thin-walled. But it works. The walls look very solid. Feels like we cannot ever break out of this. But we can. What the Buddha is pointing to is a very actual path of experience for all human beings. If we have the wish to understand, how do I do it? How do I make myself suffer? Now I really want to know. It has to be sort of like this, There's this urge to find out. Sometimes life has to kind of slap your face again and again and again and again and again until you look. That it's not life slapping your face, but it's more like you're in the way. This personality belief, in Buddhist lingo it's called the Sakayatiti, the view of a personality, that is in the way. It is what clashes and collides with whatever goes on right now, right here. So we become more intimate with the present moment, in which we then see that, yes, there are things appearing. Every minute, every second, things appear, like emotion, thought, sound, smell, whatever. Things appear. And eventually, after seeing this for a while, then we also see that whatever appears also disintegrates rather fast. It doesn't stay for long. But that there is something that kind of makes it seem to stay or linger around. And that's when we hold on to what actually just passes through, and we make a story out of it. We give it strength, we make it bigger. And so it appears to be overwhelming after a while because of all the attention that we feed it with. Now, also something that happens when you become more intimate with the present moment is that you lose interest in stuff. You're not feeling like, oh, stuff is bad, I have to get rid of stuff. But naturally your interest, your attentiveness to stuff fades, it vanishes. Because it doesn't have any substance. Nothing really does. This is not something you should fabricate or create, like, oh, so I'm supposed not to be interested in stuff now. How do I do this? It happens as a result. We lose interest. Like, let's say, for example, you have an emotion that keeps reoccurring, an emotion of sadness that keeps reoccurring. Now, many people ask the question, so what do I do with this? Now, really nothing. You don't have to do anything with this. We have to learn to open up to it. Gradually, slowly, opening up and allowing it to be there at first, closely observing it. Also seeing it fade and arise. It takes time and it takes commitment. But after a while, you will find out something about the sadness. It's not actually a real thing. There are often some thoughts, and these subtle thoughts then create a feeling, and this feeling again leads to other thoughts and so forth. If you're looking at that for a while, gently, allowing it to be there, allowing the feeling to be there and fully allowing it. As soon as you resist, then you will feel also very uncomfortable. This feeling of resistance is discomfort. You will feel uncomfortable because you don't really want to open up to it. You hold back in some way. So it's gradually learning, and this has to be said also with the help of a good teacher and spiritual community, because otherwise, if you do this on your own, it's not going to work out. Some of the emotions that come up with ourselves, they're way too frightening. And some of the emotions that come up with ourselves are way too tempting to identify with. So we get carried away by either the positive, or we end up battling the negative and hurt ourselves like this. So it is very important to have feedback. It's very easy if you're on your own to believe that you're a total failure or that you're enlightened. Very easy. I'm above it all. You know, it's easy. I had it many, many times on my path, this feeling of, yes, you know, until life had to show me one more time, you know, no, you're not above at all. Have a look how easy your ego can collapse, you know. So then this is the process, you know, to see. And this is it's faster and convenient if you have support. We have someone to talk to. We have a group like this to go to. We have friends who are on the same path. We have good exchange. So then there is a true deepening towards a point where no more such deepening is required. Where your practice has its own spin already. And then you will see for yourself that the practice also seems to take over. The practitioner is gone. the practice takes over. There is mindfulness in ever faster ways, appearing and disappearing, rather effortlessly. That's pretty much it, I guess, for today.